On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, I'm giving you guys my top 5 Thanksgiving bourbons. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance. It's the holiday season, and today I'm giving you guys my top 5 Thanksgiving bourbons. So clearly there are a million ways we could go about this. There are a million bourbons we could pick. So I'm just going to give you guys my top 5 bourbons that I'm going to put on my bar cart for company that comes over. The last thing I want is for Cousin Eddie to come over and find my super hard to find allocated bourbons. That being said, I do want to include some good bourbon on my bar cart for Thanksgiving. So we have a couple criteria for these 5 bourbons. Number 1, we want a bottle that represents a beginner pour. Somebody that comes over, isn't super into bourbon. We want a bottle for them. Number 2, we want a medium proof bourbon that's also a good mixer. Not everybody likes bourbon straight. A lot of people may want cocktails. So we need something that's not going to break the bank, that's easy to find, but also holds up well in a cocktail. Number 3, I want a medium proof bourbon that is for bourbon aficionados. Something that people will love when they come over, yet they're still going to be able to enjoy a little bit and drive home safely at the end of the night. Number 4 on our list of top 5 Thanksgiving bourbons is going to be a special bottle. This is a little bit more of an expensive bottle, but one I will be excited to share with somebody that comes over and is really into bourbon. And then number 5 on our top 5 bourbons for Thanksgiving is going to be a dessert pour. This is after dinner's done, something really great to sip on and also kick us into that Christmas season. All right, so number 1 on my list, it is the beginner pour. This is something that's not super high in proof. And again, all of these bourbons are pretty easily attainable. And that number 1 bourbon for me is going to be Maker's 46. Now, this particular bottle is Maker's 46 cask strength, but Maker's 46 is very easy to find, lower in proof. It's got all those great, rich caramel, cherry, chocolate notes that kind of kicks you off for the holiday season, but is very approachable. And to me, I found Maker's 46 gets a lot of people started in their bourbon journey. A lot of people, might think Blanton's and those lower proof. This will crush that. I promise this will be a hit at Thanksgiving, even for those people who aren't into bourbon. Pour this neat for them or on the rocks. They're going to love it. All right, moving on to our number 2 bottle of top 5 bourbons for Thanksgiving. This is something that's medium proof, but also mixes well with cocktails, because you're going to have a lot of people over that want cocktails on Thanksgiving and not bourbon straight. And that go-to for me is a $30 bottle. That's Old Grandad 114. This is medium proof, holds up really well to cocktails, but also crushes a lot of bourbons way out of its price range. It is a fantastic bourbon, neat or with cocktails, and that perfect medium proof pour for Thanksgiving. All right, moving on to number 3 of our top 5 bourbons for Thanksgiving. This is that medium proof bourbon that bourbon aficionados are going to love. We don't want to go too high proof because we're drinking, people are driving home. We don't want to send them back wrecked. So we want a really good, rich, complex bourbon that bourbon aficionados are going to love. And on Thanksgiving, there is nothing more perfect than Russell's Reserve or Kentucky Spirit if you want to go a little bit less in proof. Both of these bottles, it's wild turkey. It screams Thanksgiving. You've got to have some kind of wild turkey on your bar for Thanksgiving, and both of these are fantastic. Kentucky Spirit is a single barrel, 101 proof, a little bit more expensive in the $60 range. Russell's Reserve is one of my favorite bourbons, definitely one of the best values in bourbon. This comes in at 110 proof and just full of complexity. honey, peanut notes, orange spice. Really, really fantastic bourbons. You can't go wrong with either one of these on Thanksgiving. Number 4 on our list of top 5 Thanksgiving bourbons is our special bottle. This is a bottle that's a little bit more expensive, again, in that medium proof range that bourbon aficionados are going to love and appreciate. And for me this year on my bar cart for Thanksgiving, that bottle would be Discovery 6, Bardstown's Discovery 6. If any whiskey this year screams fall, it is this bottle. It is full of cherry, plum notes, really dark and rich. It's just a magnificent bourbon, about $130 bourbon. And if this one's a little hard for you guys to find, these are kind of hard to find, but you can still find them on the shelves regularly. The backup would be any Maker's Mark Special Select. Again, you're getting all those like chocolate, cherry notes, tons of Christmas baking spices. Either one of these bottles are fantastic for Thanksgiving. All right, number 5 on my list of top 5 bourbons for Thanksgiving is our dessert pour. This is the pour after dinner when everybody's settled down. You're just looking for something super sweet and easy to sip on, and also that pairs wonderful with pie and desserts and those kind of things. My favorite dessert pour, which also kicks me into the Christmas spirit, has got to be Midwinter Night's Dram. I'm not always in the mood for this particular bottle, but it's got those deep, rich, dark, like apricot, fig, plum notes. It's just fantastic. This is a bourbon that's finished in port, comes in at or close to 100 proof, so not too high in proof, but a fantastic bourbon for after Thanksgiving dinner that kind of kicks you into the Christmas spirit. Now, I understand this is a little bit harder to find. Now, if I couldn't find Midwinter Night's Dram, I would be reaching for Woodford Double Oaked, and you can find this all day in the stores for around $55. It is full of chocolate marshmallow notes, super rich, sweet, desserty, pairs with any pie you want to pair it with. It's fantastic. But that would be probably my number 1 available dessert pour. So there you have it, guys. That is my top 5 bourbon list for Thanksgiving. Obviously, there are a ton of choices. Please, in the comments below, tell me what your top 5 bourbons for your Thanksgiving bar cart would be. I'd love to hear them. I think if you went with this list, you would have your bases covered with anybody that came over on Thanksgiving. Again, all of these bourbons are available and under $100. Except for the special bottle, the Discovery 6. But I hope this helps you guys plan for your Thanksgiving get-together. Before I go, I want to tell you guys I am so thankful for you all. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to our Patreon members. I could not do this without you. I love you guys very much. I am so excited for the Advent calendar videos coming up and ready to get those Advent calendars. We have barrel picks coming out. We have a High West barrel pick coming out, Stellum Rye barrel pick coming out for you Patreon members. I just really appreciate you. Thank you for the support. This channel has just grown like crazy the last year, and I couldn't be more thankful. So I'm going to toast you guys out with this Kentucky Wild Spirit. Cheers, and have a happy Thanksgiving.